Hello, ladies and gentlemen. You're listening to a couple of annoyed grunt boys, and this is the 138th Simpsons podcast. That's right. I'm half an annoyed grunt boy, Craig, and with me, as always, is
half an annoyed grunt boy, Steve.
How's it going? Great. Have you ever listened to this podcast before? What's it about?
Oh, I assume, given the name, it's probably about The Simpsons.
That's right.
Or the number 138.
Close.
So we probably are supposed to watch an episode and talk about it.
We will and did.
Okay.
So it's the podcast where we review Simpsons from seasons 11 and beyond. We don't talk about the golden years because there's literally 137 other podcasts out there that talk about that.
57 of them are from Australia.
And they're all better than this one.
It's true, but you pick this one. You're stuck with us.
We apologize for the content of this podcast. It's the new year, Steve. It's officially 2020. It's the perfect vision year.
That's right. And yet they can't make the stupid novelty glasses. They have the holes in the tubes. It's the best year for those novelty glasses with the year, and they did it wrong.
That's funny. I haven't seen them yet. I'll have to look that up. Well, this 2020 has already started out shitty. We had a shitty holiday weekend. Let's just think. Some of our favorite celebrities died over this Christmas break.
Yeah. I mean, Andrew Ridgeley from Wham.
Well, what are the people that just died, after Christmas? I mean, they were some of my favorite performers.
I know. So sad.
I don't even want to mention their names.
Nope. But the singer, the actor.
The writer.
Yeah, the writer, the director.
The comedian. I mean, who saw that one coming? Well, Alan Moore did, and so did Rorschach. And now President Pence is signed into law that we have to call our wives mother.
Yeah, we're not allowed to dine with other women.
It's crazy, but former President Trump's having a great year so far. I mean, again, not a political podcast.
Not a political podcast, but his new network. Who would have thought they would have just shown cartoons? I mean, if that's all he wanted to do the whole time is just show cartoons, yeah, that's fine.
And now he's emperor and ruler of Russia. I think that's what he wanted.
I think so.
Well, did you have a great holiday weekend, Steve, or holiday week?
It was nice. Lasted a little bit. Went by too quickly, but it was good times.
Yeah.
Saw some family, opened some presents, drank some wassail, whatever that is.
Did you go caroling?
Yes. Carol O'Connor It's in the heat of the night.
Trying to think what else happened during the break that hasn't happened yet. Steve, are we saying that we were recording this before we're actually... No, of course. This is literally January 2nd. We're recording this live. You're listening to us live.
Yes, that's why the bleeps and the blurps and the poor content.
So much has happened. Well, it's a new year, so that means...
to new beginnings.
Resolutions? Steve, are you one of those resolution people?
Not really. I have some personal goals of mine that I'm not going to share, but if I complete them, I'll let you know. How about you, Craig?
Yeah, you're not supposed to share your goals, right? That's a jinx.
Yeah, it's like reading the fortune cookie out loud.
Right. No, I never set goals. Why bother?
You'll only disappoint yourself.
Right. And others. Mostly others. And that's what I'm good at. So, yeah. Just, I kiss, Steve. I keep it simple, stupid.
I kiss, too.
So, yeah, no, I'm going to lose weight, or no, I'm going to learn a new word a day. But it is also the depressing time of the year. You just get past those holidays, and you're just kind of in a funk, I think.
Yeah, because, what's next?
Chicken necks!
We need a day in between the holidays. We can call it Love Day.
Is that what we're talking about this week on The Simpsons? Oh, no, we're not. Well, this is our part 2 of The Great Phatsby. So hopefully you're sticking around for this. We were sort of not pleased with part 1.
But maybe part 2 surprised and delighted us.
We'll do things a little differently here since this is part 2 of the podcast. Hopefully you've listened to part 1, because if you're listening to just part 2 of this Great Phatsby 2-parter, well, you're a little weird.
Yeah.
But if this is your first time listening to the podcast, well, welcome. Thanks again for listening.
Yeah, Happy New Year. Hope you enjoy your new iPod.
Yeah,
that's why you're listening.
iPod Max. I don't know. Is that the new iPod?
I think so.
About right. We talked about already the number 1 movie and music, and that was number 1 movie was, what was that again, Steve? Was
Hidden Figures.
And we already played the fun Kids Bop version of Bougie and Boozy. What was the name?
Rad and Groovy.
Something like that. Our School is Groovy. That was fun.
Yeah.
So I think let's just get in with this. Let's just talk about The Simpsons.
Let's take a quick break, come back, and we'll Phatsby it up. Let's do it.
Is there anything in my fridge I can drink that's non-alcoholic?
Baking soda?
And we're back. Today we're talking about The Great Phatsby Part 2. It's the 13th episode of the 28th season, originally aired January 15th, 2017, along with episode 12.
Mm-hmm.
Number 609 in the show's run. Nerd code is WABF05. Written by Matt Selman, directed by Timothy Bailey, and the showrunners at the time were Matthew Selman and Alfred Jean.
Wow. How did that feel, Craig?
Oh, that was kind of fun. I thought maybe part 2 I could do that.
Yeah, I like it. That's cool.
Thank you very much. So our second segment of The Great Phatsby, The Revenge, starts off with a narration from Homer, and he could probably do this better than I can.
F. Scott Fitzgerald once wrote, "There are no second acts in American lives," but he never said anything about second parts in American TV shows. Here's what happened so far. In an attempt to recapture his lost youth, Mr. Burns threw a party in his Hampton summer mansion. But the affair was a chintzy flop, leaving him more sad and alone than ever. Until Mr. Burns was befriended by J.G., a hip-hop mogul who taught him the joys of spending his money on living life to its fullest. But his shining night turned out to be a shook night. J.G. bankrupted Burns and took all his worldly possessions, including the nuclear plant. Now resume our story with Mr. Burns betrayed and bereft.
So, as the Golden Goose Repo Company hauls off Mr. Burns' belongings, Monty discovers that his posse, not receiving new sneakers or money, have packed up their personal bowling balls and folding bicycles and abandoned the former billionaire. Even his hounds have opted for JG. Homer is saddened by losing the kinship of the goose mascot.
Hey, I was kind of sad too. I like that goose.
Yeah, good old Goosius.
Do you think Spider Ham and the goose will get along with Homer? The three of them.
Maybe they'll all be friends and it'll be like U.S. Acres, that other cartoon that was on when Garfield was on.
Did you, after Garfield was over, did you switch the channels?
I did, but in retrospect, I think I like it more.
I haven't watched those in years. I think where I could find those, maybe like on Hulu. But
Yeah.
I didn't really actually mind U.S. Acres.
It was fun.
You're right. The characters were probably better.
Yeah, I remember, I want to say his name was Sheldon.
Right.
The chicken who never hatched. I like that. And like the duck or goose who had like the life preserver because he was afraid of water.
Oh, I like that one too.
Yeah, there's depth of character there. There's like a kind of tomboy sheep, I think.
Yeah. Or there was like brother and sister, maybe?
Yeah, they kind of had the same dynamic as the Beaker twins from Muppet Babies, actually.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. On Muppet Babies, there was Skeeter. Wasn't he only ever created for Muppet Babies? Or one of...
I think
not
so.
Skeeter, his sister. She
Right.
was never actually a Muppet. What was her name? Scooter?
I think it's Scooter. Yeah, I think it was
Yeah.
actually Skeeter and Scooter.
And then, so, she was never an adult Muppet, right?
Oh my
So does that
gosh.
mean, like, she dies as a Muppet baby?
Yeah.
Because I know she wasn't... she was created for the show, but I don't remember ever seeing Scooter as an adult Muppet.
So there's sudden Muppet infant death syndrome.
M-I-D?
S-mids. Yeah.
Scooter Muppets.
Or maybe-
No, Scooter was the guy.
Skeeter was the girl.
Right. Skeeter.
Or maybe she was like, they played a lot with their imagination on that show.
Oh, I see where you're going.
So maybe Scooter lost her like in the womb and she was never born. And he just always imagined her. We should go back and watch Muppet Babies to see if anybody else interacts with her. Because maybe it's all in Scooter's head.
Yeah. Okay, I'm looking up Skeeter here now on Wiki, and they eventually do make Skeeter in Muppet form.
Oh, okay. That's good. So my bleak thoughts don't have to be validated.
Yeah.
Ew. Somebody like humanized and sexed her up.
I'm looking at that right now. And gotta say, actually, it's kind of creepy.
It's weird.
Oh, I'm seeing another one of Deviant Art is not a great place to go to, by the way.
No.
Enough of our
No, yeah.
sexy puppet talk, or Muppet talk, excuse me.
Yeah, so not quite a mop, not quite a puppet. So Burns laments on his loneliness, noticing that even Smithers never returned from his own personal ice bucket challenge.
Oh, that was around that same time, right? The Ice Bucket Challenge?
Yeah, I think so.
Did you
Yeah.
ever participate in that, or do you just love the cancer, right? Or
It's Lou Gehrig's
yeah.
disease.
Well, because you're a Red Sox fan, so you hate the Yankees.
Right. And, I'm kind of superstitious, and evidently he was really lucky.
All right.
Mr. Burns finds that Homer is the only one still there for him.
Good Simpson, faithful Simpson, you would never go back to the nuclear plant that was so cruelly taken from me? What does your heart say?
I looked deep into my heart, and it said, let me ask my wife.
I don't care if Mr. Burns doesn't own the nuclear plant anymore. You still have to work there. You have a wife, a family, and a store to support.
You're right. Wait, a store?
I have a store.
How did that happen?
Well, you spend enough time in the Hamptons and you have any flair at all, you just wind up with a store.
What could possibly go wrong with retail?
Yes, Marge has opened up a shop called Peppermints and Pussy Willows by Marge, selling 19th century doctor kits, state-shaped erasers, and her recently amassed collection of pincushions.
Ooh la la. Steve, would you like to open your own store in the Hamptons?
No. In Portland, we have a lot of these like shops that are kind of similar, and they sell like Kirkland bar tools and like fun socks and then like jewelry that nobody actually wears. And I don't know how they stay in business.
I know what you're talking about. I don't know which comedian is it that said if they ever won the lottery, they would just own a store. Was it Gaffigan? I always think everyone is Gaffigan on this podcast. If they were millionaires, they'd have a store and they just sell a pencil for $1 million. Their business, they just have to go to work every day, so they figure I'll open a pencil store and I sell one pencil that's $1 million, and if someone buys it,
I remember that joke.
I don't know who it is, but I think that'd be a great way to have a business. If you had unlimited money, you know, I would just open I don't know if I would open a pencil store. Maybe my chicken wing conveyor belt sushi place.
Mm-hmm.
No, maybe nothing with food or alcohol.
No.
What doesn't make money and I don't care? Oh, a comic book store. There we go.
There you go. Yeah.
All right. So Homer wants to support Mr. Burns, but Marge wants him to stay at the nuclear power plant as his wife and family, because he has his wife and a family to support, Steve. And of course,
That's
her
true.
shop, which is unlikely to turn a profit anytime soon.
Yep, but still, Homer returns to his place of work to find it has been renovated, with bouncers monitoring a velvet rope, bikini-clad dancers with safety masks, and a DJ spinning plutonium records behind safety glass.
Woot woot.
In Mr. Burns' office, we find JG behind the old man's desk, feeding his golden goose goldfish-sized blinkies while boning up on Burns' book, The Rungs of Ruthlessness.
You said boning.
Boning. At the behest of the hip-hop mogul, in walks Homer.
Rung 6. To ensure an employee's loyalty, you must crush their attachments to the past.
You wanted to see me, Mr. G?
Relax, homie, we're good. When you entered my gates, I knew you'd turn your back on old man Burns, and I respect that.
Yeah, I ditched him all right in his hour of need, but I feel good about it. Really good. Ow! Ow! Ooh, I missed that.
Because I know you're so loyal to me, I have a very special job for you. Removing the last trace of Monty Burns from the power plant he loves.
Oh no.
The power plant. That's all he cares about.
I know, that's his baby.
Well, Homer then discards Monty's favorite belongings in the office in the bottomless trapdoor, including
Burns' Yale fur coat and
a
flag.
sweet stuffed teddy bear Bobo,
Bobo. A box of axes, clubs, and maces.
a box of oh so many skulls,
Portraits of all the employees of the month, who are all Mr. Burns, save for one lucky month where Carl was the chosen one.
and, of course, Montgomery Burns' prized stuffed polar bear.
If you have a stuffed bear, take care of it.
Steve, you'd like to stuff a bear, I bet.
Yeah.
You want Leonardo DiCaprio, that shit.
Hey, we're going to mention that later.
Okay, sorry.
As a reward, JG gives Homer his Atlanta Granny's vast array of custom-made cobblers made of peach, berry, cherry, rhubarb, and unbelievably, pineapple. You know what I noticed?
Yeah.
There's no apple cobbler. Apple seems like a pretty straightforward cobbler.
Yeah, well, maybe his grandmother hates apples.
Maybe. Also, a pineapple cobbler. Doesn't seem that weird.
No.
That sounds good to me.
Yeah, you love a pineapple.
I do like a pineapple a lot. Probably like one of my top 3 fruits.
Okay, so as Homer gorges on his crumbly hot fruit desserts, he feels guilty for betraying Mr. Burns, and he finds he needs a place to throw up. So he does what anyone else would do. Steve, he heads to this local cemetery to find an open grave in which to vomit. There, he hears some crying.
Who is it?
After the ball is over, after the break of dawn, after the dancers leaving, after the stars are gone.
Mr. Burns, what are you doing in this death hole?
All I have left is my family mausoleum. Would you like a sip of grief soup? I stewed it from flowers left on graves.
I confess, I went back to work at the plant. JG seduced me with cobbler, but after the 8th pan, it tasted like ashes. Ice cream got me through 3 more pans, but after that, ashes.
Well, now you have to decide once and for all where your allegiance lies.
I'm not going back to that job. I'm gonna stay here with you, and we're going to get even with JG. And as God is my witness, I will not tell my wife what I'm up to.
Oh, that's good.
Ooh. So Homer and Burns are conspiring ways to get revenge on JG, including
A sandwich made of acid.
ring doorbell and run,
A sandwich made of acid.
trick him into spending all of his money and credit cards that they secretly own,
A sandwich made of acid.
fill his office with balloons,
A sandwich made of acid.
fill his office with scorpions.
And banana his tailpipe.
Burns can't afford a banana.
Come on, that's from Axel Foley. That's
Beverly Hills
Yeah.
Cop. Burns and Homer then discover Bart spying on them and figure that his scheming can help too. So they tempt him with his cape and gloves of the infamous Gaslight Strangler. Bart offers destroying the reputation of the hip-hop star. And he knows just the person to get info on rap culture, a white nerd.
So in South Central Springfield in the 90s, there were 4 major hip-hop subscenes. The Good Time Mafia, Licorice Avenue, the Dirty Dirty North, and the FLTA, the Fine Ladies Thug Army.
Fascinating.
Yes, but do you have anything we can use against my sworn enemy, JG?
Before he was JG, he was Jeremy Gilroy, a founding member of the Five Boyfriends, a soulful R&B quintet.
Hey, I know this guy. He tried to sell me a $55 candle.
That's Jazzy James, the lyrical miracle. He wrote all of Jay's early hits, but they had a falling out, and he was never heard from again.
Then only one man can write the rap that will ruin the rep of JG, Jazzy James.
I told you this guy would come back. Told ya.
Yeah, I used to be Jazzy James.
The lyrical miracle?
My skills were empirical.
So what I like about that clip is when they mentioned the whitest, nerdiest kid knows about rap, and
It's kind of a trope.
Yeah, it is a trope. Like knowing a lot of white nerdy kids that know too much about hip hop culture.
Yeah, especially like in our neck of the country, where the cultural makeup might be a little less diverse, let's say. There are a lot of white nerds. But unrelated to that, I noticed a poster of the family tree of horrorcore. And let me tell you, I remember watching VH1, and so producer Rick Rubin, who's also a white nerd who likes hip-hop, saw the fame of Michael Jackson's Thriller, and so they wanted to make hip-hop, but scary, with, like, goblins and zombies. And, you know, hip-hop is largely about the realness of the streets and, you know, the environment in which they come from. And so it was quickly dismissed, and like millions of dollars were wasted. So that's my white hip hop nerdiness.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
I don't have white hip hop hurdy nerdiness.
Do you have any hurdy-gurdy
I got
nerdiness?
some hurdy-gurdy, man. So anyways, we then learned that Jazzy James wrote all of JG's rhymes without payment due to a Suge Knight Vanilla Ice dangling out of those windows situation. JG then took Jazzy's money, stole his girl, and made him get a tattoo of the baseball from Major League. The former New Jack swing star was broke, finding solace solely in candles.
Bart then elects the musician to assist in creating the ultimate in revenge rap.
Excellent. What is rap?
Homer then sees Marge and Bart hide Mr. Burns. Marge is excited for the changes in her store.
I can't wait to show you the changes I've made. We're getting a lot of foot traffic. 3 people used the bathroom yesterday.
How much should I charge for these handbags made from the speaker covers of old jukeboxes?
$5. No. $100. It's happening. It's happening. I love my store. We're putting up new wallpaper.
Is Mom gonna be okay?
I don't know, son. I don't know.
Oh, it's not her, fellas. It's the curse of the adorable little store. Didn't always used to be like this, no. Once this land was full of actual stores, as far as the eye could see. Then the rich people came. They didn't need to make money. They just needed a place for their friends to wander into after spin class. Well, that's progress for you, I suppose.
Is that the take on the character from Pet Sematary and
Oh yeah,
played by Munster?
Herman?
Yeah, Herman Munster. Al Lewis? No, that was Grandpa. Fred Gwynn. Yes.
Yes.
Sometimes Dad is better. We should do.
I enjoy
we should do
that.
a Munsters cast.
Yes. On what is it? 1212 Mockingbird Lane?
Something like that.
Yeah.
Only lasted, like 2 seasons, but that was back when like a season was 800 episodes.
Yeah, it seemed like the rougher around the edges Addams Family.
I prefer them. I prefer the Munsters over the Addams Family.
I liked how horny the Addams Family was.
I like how horny Marge is, especially this scene. Like she's just so horny for her store.
Horny for pussy, Willow.
It's just she loves it so much, and Marge rarely ever gets any things.
Yeah,
good on that.
We then cut to Gold Records on Walls recording studio, where Mr. Burns is set to produce the ultimate revenge rap. And while Jazzy James is at first apprehensive, Mr. Burns hangs him from a window and he finds inspiration.
Jay, you're a rhyme thief, a hip-hop perjurer. If my words were beef patties, you'd be the hamburglar. My beats are the freshest, my beats are the freshest. You reached out and stole them like Gollum did Precious. Time for the truth to be paid off, you're a lyrical made-off. So if you want to go to war, brah, hit me up and I'll write the rap for ya. Yeah!
Whoa, it rhymed! Now that's what I call a corking revenge rap.
I don't want to reveal our cards, but it's just weird having Burns be like, corking revenge rap.
He's still using the old-timey slang.
Although I do have to say that's Keegan-Michael Key, and he does a good job rapping.
Keegan-Michael Key of the Keegan-Michael Key Show. I mean,
yes, Mad TV.
Peele. Keegan Peele. And he gets to star in lots of crappy movies, while Peele gets to make really good movies.
And make out with Chelsea Peretti.
Wait, Keegan-Michael Key is married to Peretti. Wait, who's he married to?
He is married to, I don't know.
Is on third.
Who?
No, who's on first? God damn.
Wait, what?
What's on second?
The ultimate indiscretion.
It's the ultimate comedy bit after all, Steve. It's fine.
Yeah, it is.
So anyways, we then meet some of JG's mistreated crew, who are also seeking revenge, including his ex-wife, Praline, and an all-star lineup of rappers featuring RZA, Snoopy Dogg, and freaking rapper about AI, Common.
I hate those commercials. Why is he yelling at me about robots? I can't buy robots.
Hey, you can buy robots.
I can't afford robots in my salary.
JG took everything from me. You best believe I'm going to take everything from him. Get the ham!
We're really glad to have you. Thanks for your help.
Who you thinking? I'm not doing this for you, boo-boo kitty.
With an angry ex-wife on our team, we were unstoppable. Praline brought in an all-star lineup of JG's enemies to lend their hatred to the world's greatest diss rap. RZA, Snoop, and Common.
Yo, I wanna backsmack JG, son. He took that name Tane Clan from me. And since they couldn't beat you, I had to change my Tane Clan to woo.
I seen JG pimp lie and ride. Took my handyman off a job. And when I complained, all he did was laugh. Now I got half a gazebo and not even a good half.
I would never wish hate on my brother, cause we're all from the same celestial mother. Wait, I just remember Jay crashed my jet ski. I hope you get food poisoning from nachos. Peace!
Yo, Common, that was tight.
Respect, House.
I like Homer was like trying to get hotboxed with Snoop rapping.
And I like...
And that Milhouse has respect.
Yeah, he's got respect in the rap community. That was fun.
You know what'd be fun? Is if Common and Tom Jones did a duo together, and they sang It's Not Unusual.
Why don't you go ahead and tweet that, Steve, and see what happens.
Okay.
Thanks.
I probably will. Because it's not unusual, that means it would be common.
And remember to tweet that from our Simpsons account and not our personal accounts. Cause, we need.
Yeah, you got to get that gold.
We got to get that gold. While Burns and his rap crew enjoy how much the diss track will destroy their enemies, Smithers is proving himself among some Canadian biker gang.
Oh, hey. It's a nice Harley you got there, bud. At the Hate Squad and Rhyme Crime All-Star show, Burns drops Choke on This, a.k.a. Rhyme Crime, but finds his song isn't dropped just yet.
I now drop Choke on This, a.k.a. Rhyme Crime, by Hate Squad, featuring the Rhyme Crime All-Stars.
Why isn't it dropping? Release the sounds.
Damn! Sorry to crash your party as a hologram, MB, but I'm having a little celebration of my own. I just bought the master recording of your so-called diss rap.
Huh, no way. Jazzy James and Hate Squad featuring the Rhyme Crime All-Stars hate you. They'd never sell out.
They would. For money.
I like how Burns says release the sounds. as
Yeah.
they released the hounds. And I like how the Star Trek beam effect was used.
I was just going to mention that. I heard in that clip. I actually just noticed it now that the beam me up clip is holograms. That's great. Hey, I said something great about this episode.
Oh, that's a first.
Yeah. So holograms of the Hate Squad and Crime Time All-Stars appear, saying they flipped the script and are siding with the hip-hop mogul. JG's hologram self then drops the hard drive containing the hard copy of Burns' rap down his golden goose's throat.
As the crowd disperses for the party at the power plant, Mr. Burns vows his revenge.
I swear on the squid beak of Lord Cthulhu and all his briny shoggoths, I will get revenge on you, JG.
And so Mr. Burns beat on, fist against the hologram, punching back ceaselessly into his own face.
Our final act, yay, of this saga shows a frantic Marge attempting to come up with a new name for her boutique, either Nextdorables or Lavender Zeppelin. Lisa is indifferent.
Homer comes into the shop with Bart and Mr. Burns in tow to let his sexy wife know of his loyalties and failures.
A customer? No, it's you.
Baby, I'm sorry. I stayed loyal to Mr. Burns, co-produced a failed revenge rap, and now we've got nothing.
Oh?
I know it's crazy, but he needed me.
It's okay, homie.
You're not mad?
Your heart told you to stick with Mr. Burns. And the thing I love about you most is you've got a heart as big as the Ritz.
Wow, Mom, you just made an F. Scott Fitzgerald reference.
Lisa, please. I did graduate high school.
Might be one of my favorite lines from the episode. You know, reminding people that, Marge is not a dummy. She's really smart. But again,
yeah,
she went to high school. Like, that was a book that everyone, would read.
Right.
I didn't, of course.
Neither did I.
By the time we were in high school, we had to, what was our hardest book we had to read? It was Art of the Deal by Donald Trump.
Yeah. I read How to Win Friends and Influence People by Stephen Covey.
I had to read Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret by Judy Blume. That was a senior year, I think.
I had to read Chicken Soup for the Rabbi's Soul. I don't know why.
The couple embrace each other. Steve and Mr. Burns, clutching a stuffed goose, turns from distraught to devious as he has hatched a master plan and needs Homer's help. Homer declares, "We can't afford this story more," freeing Marge and Lisa from the shackles of the quaint independent business.
Oh, thank God.
I'm free!
Well, before long, another aimless soul will open another adorable store here. And when they do, old Sam the sign hanger will be ready with his level and his ladder. Oh, why, here comes one now.
Oh, honey, isn't it darling? We finally found the bookmark barn. Oh, this is Wickerworks. We're going to sell so many Yorkie sweaters. We can use the calendar that they carry.
So we've resolved B plot.
It is done. I liked Sam the sign hanger. Like, I know that he's just a ripoff of the guy from Pet Sematary, but
I think there's little needful things in there too. Maybe.
Yeah, I think so.
I don't know. I have to go back and watch that, or maybe even read the book written by one Stephen King, that House representative guy that no one likes.
The racist
guy?
guy?
Isn't that him?
Yeah.
Poor name. You ever heard of Sweet Tomatoes? It's
Yeah.
like the salad bar at buffet place. And they have the manager's name on the sign here in Vancouver, and it says manager is Stephen King. All right, good for him.
Fun kind of coincidence thing. Outside of the West Coast, do you know what Sweet Tomatoes is called?
Yeah, Soup Plantation.
Exactly.
I think they need to.
I know that in other places, plantation is not, there's no negative connotation. Even in Hawaii, like Laura talks about pineapple plantations all the time. And it's just where pineapples were. But yeah, when I hear the word, I'm just like, ooh, slavery.
Yeah, that's why I don't want to eat at a... See, that's why you're laughing at the Stephen King thing, because... all right, well...
We then see Burns whipping Homer across the lake feverishly, as his plan is about to come to fruition.
That's pretty, the timing of our plantation talk. All right, well, we cut to JG about to serve Goocius his oatmeal, but it seems the bird is gone. There's a broken window. It seems there's been a goose napping.
Honk! As JG cries out, "Goosey!" we see Homer and Burns rowing away with a sack containing the feathered mascot. JG quickly confronts Burns about the missing bird.
Where's my goose?
Why, he's right here. Fancy a bite of roast gooses?
You didn't?
Oh, I did. Trifle fatty, but other than that, excellent.
Damn, I didn't think you had it in you, MB. Oh, man. I don't want to live in a world without the mascot of my multinational empire.
Goose. I like a goose because it's all fatty. I'm a dark meat kind of guy myself when I'm eating a bird.
Yeah, chicken thighs. Way to go.
I know, you can never really fuck up a chicken thigh.
We can talk about that on my new food podcast, Let's Eat. Shameless plug.
Is it time for plugs?
No, it's
All right.
not.
So keep your plug to yourself, Steve.
I'll plug myself up. But that's right. It appears that Monty has cooked the goose that represented the Golden Empire. Or did he?
We then see Homer come bustling through the door being chased by gooses. Oh, Mr. Burns didn't have it in his heart. And Homer admits that he couldn't kill the bird. Well, Homer does, not Mr. Burns.
Yeah.
And he had, just had their portrait done. Homer gave Burns a mere roast goose from the gas station where I'm assuming in the Hamptons, that's where you can get some roast goose at the gas station.
Yeah, it's probably not bad. I mean, like if you're a little drunk and you're just like, man, I need me some goose.
Much like Maverick in Top Gun. Burns then chases the living bird with a knife.
The two rivals found themselves doomed by the lust that drive all men, money, power, and the pursuit of a goose.
Burns and JG both find themselves dangling from the chandelier. As the fixtures begin to give way, Burns questions JG's betrayal.
Just tell me, Jay, why'd you betray me? We were kindred souls, brothers in avarice.
Why? Because you told me to in your own last chapter.
You will never be truly ruthless until you destroy the one who made you.
I had to tear you down, MB. It was the final run. I just wanted to be ruthless like you.
That I inspired you to such pure and evil greed, that is my greatest triumph. I am truly immortal.
We're about to die, folks.
I love it. If it wasn't for Mr. Burns writing that book, he wouldn't be in this position, Steve.
It's true. So the moral of the story, don't write books.
Right. So the chandelier, see it says, comes crashing down, ready to kill both protagonist and antagonist.
Oh.
When suddenly in rides Smithers,
the true hero of the story,
with his log transport carrying the famed ice, which has now been turned into slush.
Smithers is late, but is now the leader of a Canadian biker gang. Burns and JG awkwardly bump fists inside of reconciliation, and Burns knows his ruthlessness will live in the heart of JG forever.
The Simpsons family boat away into the sunset, and as Homer laments that he'll miss his feathered friend, Bart lovingly bites him on the arm.
Aw. Lisa wonders if this whole experience changed Mr. Burns forever, and as we cut to the plant, we see that Burns is allowing one-time music appreciation dance break. The end.
We did it, Steve. We got through this two-parter.
That's right. Should we talk about it?
I guess I need to take a break, and then we could come back and talk about it.
Alrighty. We'll be right back.
Music makes the whole world.
Let's not do this tomorrow.
And we're back. We're going to finish up our conversation about The Great Phatsby Part 2 and the whole thing as a whole. Craig, some thoughts?
Sure. Should we do our usual t-shirts, tattoos, quotes?
Yeah. Let's talk about tattoo t-shirts. Tattoos.
For me, we're supposed to find something. Like, I pretty much wouldn't want anything from this episode. But I do like Gooshes. I like a good animal. I would just like maybe a shirt with Gooshes and Homer hanging.
That's pretty cool. Like Goosh is biting him or something, or the portrait.
Yeah, the portrait would be a good one. So I'd go something like that from this episode for my t-shirt tattoo.
Yeah, I mean, like, I might go for, like, some of the fake hip-hop albums, like Rubbing Up On You. That could be fun on a shirt.
Yeah, or an enamel pen.
There you go. That could be good.
Even Marge's store. You know, there's a lot. But yeah, I'm going with Gooshes. Gooshes and Homer.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah, I think I'll go with the... like an enamel pin, like it's an LP of 5 boyfriends rubbing up on you. This is a nice, like, image of, like, a New Jack Swing, kind of like early 90s, like, Philly album. And I think that's fun. So that's my t-shirt.
We could probably get those made.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone would buy them, but we could probably get them made.
It's true.
How about quotes?
Oh, this is a bit harder.
That's what she said.
Hey, oh. I kind of liked in the beginning when Homer was like, and I entered a world of wealth where mansions are called cottages and getting drunk on a boat is called sailing.
I liked in part 2, and I said it during the podcast, with Marge doing the F. Scott Gerald quote.
Oh, yeah.
And then Lisa was impressed with her reference. Marge is like, I did graduate high school.
I also like the maniacal laughing of Sam the sign hanger.
Yeah, I also liked when Mr. Burns was, when they were explaining that about rapping, he's like, excellent, what is rap? Yeah.
That might be mine, I think. I think that's what I'm going to go with is,
okay.
What is rap?
How about when Chief Wiggins says, hey everyone, I am off duty, so please don't feel weird doing drugs in front of me or with me, back in the beginning of the episode, part 1.
That seems like so long ago.
Yeah.
But it was good.
Well, there we go. There's our quotes.
Yeah. Let's see if we have any reviews.
International Movie Database.
Indeed. 5 used reviews. I give up. I don't give up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I'll give it another week. I have been the most faithful Simpsons fan for all these years, watching every single episode, no matter the lows, which there have been more of and more over the years. But watching this episode, I officially give up. They flat out need to cancel the show. There was no consistent plot. Now, I'm going to stop right there.
Okay.
This might not be my favorite couple of episodes. There was very clearly a consistent plot.
Yeah, I don't know what this guy's talking about.
Basically 0 laughs for the entire episode, and the show couldn't decide what it was trying to parody. It was clearly trying to parody 2 things. And to top all that off, they decided to make this an hour-long episode. It blows my mind that this once great show could swing and miss so badly. I don't think this is the worst episode they've ever done, although I'd put it in the bottom 10.
Ooh.
But it seems that showrunners have absolutely no idea what they're doing.
Yeah.
I've been coming on IMDb.
You've been what, Steve?
I've been coming on IMDb for over a decade now, and this was the first time I ever felt the need to review something on here. This show has no need to go past season 30. Let's be honest. It'll get to 30. It did. They don't have anything new to add. At this point, the show has been mediocre to bad for well over half of its run. It's disappointing since I consider this one of the all-time greatest shows, but it's time to end it. Thanks, Team Extreme 1107.
2 out of 10 stars from Team Extreme, Steve. Yeah, there's some positive reviews here. I'm looking through Reddit. Someone enjoyed the smoother subplot, which I think, yeah, that was a fun subplot.
Yeah.
The Lisa one from the first episode with the boy. Someone says, holy shit, Milhouse is me, because he's probably a white rap nerd.
That's right.
But I think we should talk about our thoughts. How about that?
Yeah. What do you think, Craig?
So I have to say, I think this episode there was a lot of plot, and like I said earlier, if they just did like the classics in a 3 short story format, they could have just done the beats of the Great Gatsby, for 8 minutes, get the jokes out there. We're introduced to these new characters, which I bet we don't ever see again. So you can't really invest in JG or anything like that. And I know they're trying to do the Great Gatsby along with Empire, so I feel like they're maybe like wanting to promote Empire when it came out.
Yeah.
And they're like, do an Empire parody, which had already been on the season for like 1 or 2 years at this point, I'm assuming. I also feel like the writers like Selman, they were like, hey, let's show our knowledge off of, or this literature, of Great Gatsby, and let's be smart. And you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
let's parody the classics, which I never read The Great Gatsby. I get the idea of the story, but I'm assuming most people haven't read it that are watching The Simpsons.
Yeah, I feel like, of like classic American literature, I know it's like listed on there, but I feel like people don't, maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. I just feel like it doesn't have that big like thing that maybe like Grapes of Wrath or 1984 has.
Here's the grapes, and here's the wrath!
Yeah, and I was excited when this episode came out originally because it was like, oh my god, it's a 1 hour episode, legit 1 hour, and I wasn't feeling it. I think when it originally aired, and then watching it again, I'm just not feeling this episode. It's a tough to watch through. So for that, I have to give it a rating, don't I? How about?
Yeah, I think so.
How about The Great Gatsby? Steve was F. Scott Fitzgerald. Was originally published in 1925. The original page count is 208 pages.
Yeah, I was just gonna do that.
Okay, well, I'll give it out of the year it was published, 1925. I'll give it 3.
All right.
3 out of 1,925.
All right.
Am I gonna, if this is on flipping through stations, am I gonna watch it? No, I skipped through this episode. Will I ever watch this episode again? No.
Alrighty. Well, Craig, here's what I'll say. Ambition. It's a thing that drives American spirit, entrepreneurship, and capitalism as a whole grow in this country,
Steve,
and we evolve, we begin to question the need for billionaires. How much is too much? Where does excess actually exist? And, we think that we want more, but maybe when we have more, happy. And maybe that's the problem with this episode. We had too much, and we got lost. Much like for Mr. Burns, we became so obsessed about getting the stuff, we wondered, should we have the stuff? And I feel that they tried really hard to do something big. And, it was great that they got, 3 big name, very disparate rappers. And, Snoop Dogg's an easy get. He'll do anything. Common obviously does, commercials for Microsoft. But, RZA is part of the Wu-Tang Clan. I like the Wu-Tang Clan. It was cool to see all of this, them trying to be in a different world, them trying to create an extra long narrative, them trying to be cool in modern times, and also integrate the 1920s. But I think through all of it, we learned that didn't quite work, and that you need to spread the wealth a little bit more. So I'm saying Bernie 2020.
See, this is not a political podcast.
But yeah, ultimately, they tried for a lot, and they didn't get it. So I'm going to say 20 pages out of 218 and pretend that I read the rest, but I didn't. But I read the Cliff Notes, and frankly, I feel relieved because I don't have to watch this episode again. I feel like the recording of this has been the most struggling of this podcast because, making notes for it and, watching it repeatedly, it just felt like I was watching a different show. And I don't know, it's totally off, and it's not the right world, and it just feels weird.
Yeah, fuck the great Phatsby.
Yeah.
Fuck this podcast for doing this episode.
Yeah.
If you guys watched this episode and you're listening to this podcast, we apologize.
Yeah, and if you really loved it, give me 218 pages of why you loved it, because I fail to understand.
I mean, we both fail to understand, and we tend to agree a lot on this podcast, but on occasion, we do disagree. Diggs, of course, being one.
Yep.
I, too, am relieved that this episode is ending, and I guess we're back on track for a normal episode next week, Steve.
Get back in the swing of things.
We need to recharge our batteries.
Yeah, I think so.
We'll play a game next week or do something fun, maybe pitch another episode. But I think this week we're exhausted from the holidays, from all those dead celebrities that occurred during the holidays.
The SNL episode.
Oh, it was weird. Cats was #1 at the box office over
so
Star
good,
Wars.
Though.
Star Wars: Rise of Skywalker. Oh my god, it was the most amazing movie I ever saw.
I mean, man, that James Corden, funny.
What about when they dropped dong too? They showed cat dong.
I know, with the little corkscrew and everything.
Yeah, and that was a great movie. I loved Cats.
Jellicles can, Jellicles will.
Yeah. Okay, I think we're done.
Okay.
All right. You can go ahead and bust out the wheel, Steve, because we're going to find what we're watching next week.
Alrighty. Wheel of Random, treat us right. Wheel of Random, please do not fight. Wheel of Random, let it be. Wheel of Random, what will we see? Ba-doop.
We got season 19.
Season 19, The Hardcastle.
Let's spin that episode wheel.
For the episode, here we go. Ba-doop.
Season 1, Steve, is the season premiere of season 19.
Oh, hey. He loves to fly, and he does.
This is a great segue because season 19, well, it came out last December here, so.
Oh, yeah.
All right, so season 19, episode 1, as you said, he loves to fly, and he does. After a trip on Mr. Bird's private plane, Hober enlists the aid of a life coach, guest voiced by Stephen Colbert, the man who took down David Letterman, to help him find a job that allows him to use a corporate jet. Steve, do you remember watching this episode?
I vaguely remember it. I remember watching the season premiere, and there's a joke about improv in this one.
And you love jokes about improv. All right, well, let's go watch this episode and talk about it next week.
Sounds like a plan.
You can always follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at 138Simpsons.
And you can always email us at 138simpsons@gmail.com.
We also have a store on TeePublic, which is tpublic.com/user/annoyedgruntboys. If you don't want to do that, just go to our Twitter or Instagram bio page, and we have a link tree there. You just click on that link, and it's the links to all of our stuff. Podcast, store.
We'd love to hear from you, hear your thoughts, Buy a shirt, do what you want.
All right, for this week, I have been a great Craigsby Craig.
And I've been an annoyed Steve.
And remember, keep watching them skies.
Hey, yo, smell you later.
Ow, that stings. Oh, that one's nice. How dare you? Fascinating.